This week on the Righteous Tongues podcast, the fellas discuss brand new album releases from Big Krit, Chance the Rapper, and YBN Cordae, as well as discuss the trending top MCs list that's going around on the internet. This and much, much more. This is the RTP, where we speak fluid hip-hop.
Hey, recognize and realize it's the Righteous Tongues podcast. Shout out to FDT, the BX Boy, and D.Bail. This is real. Right now, let's hear the guys talk about what albums and songs shaped their love for the culture.
Diggable Planets was the album that's when I started really like, okay, this is what rapping is. This is, you know what I'm saying, trying to put together thoughts and all that stuff. Like, I don't have an album like that. Like what's the youngest age you remember you listening to hip-hop?
All right, the first album I remember really listening to as a youngin', I was about 5 years old. I believe it was either Naughty by Nature's second album, I believe, OPP. That song was everywhere.
I knew about Nirvana right next to NWA. You know what I'm saying? I knew about Guns N' Roses right next to Big Daddy Kane, because when you watch MTV, you know what I mean, they played all of that next to each other. You know what I'm saying? The only time where it was just straight hip hop was like when it was Yo MTV Raps, or literally when you listening to the radio, you listen to Hot 97.
Rap City too.
Rap City.
Rap City when that started.
You listen to Ed Lover and Dr. Dre in the morning. You know what I'm saying? You listening to, of course, Funkmaster Flex at nights. Like, that's how we heard records. Like, records breaking.
Stretch, Bobbito too.
Stretch and Bobbito. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. On their radio station, and then eventually they came to Hot 97 and they had a show. But that's how I was hearing records. When I first heard Mobb Deep, I didn't hear the infamous album. I heard Shook Ones. You know what I'm saying? On Funkmaster Flex. Friday Night Street Jams. You know what I'm saying? I heard Shook Ones. And I heard Shook Ones 1,000 times before I ever got a chance to hear the infamous album. A lot of those Death Row hits that came out was radio versions. They were sanitized. So when you finally heard the Chronic album, rest in peace to my cousin Donnie, that's the first place I ever heard the Chronic album. I'm 12 years old. We in VA. It's me, him, and his wife. We riding. He put on the Dr. Dre album. And I'm hearing it. I'm like, yo. Yeah, but that's not falling in love with hip hop, bro. I was already rocking with hip hop way before then. You know what I mean?
For me, I first heard OPP out in North Carolina when I was with my father seeing relatives.
There you go.
In 91.
There you go. There you go.
I wasn't even in New York.
It wasn't like the Chronic. Me hearing that album was like the first time I'm hearing hip hop, and I'm like, what is this thing? Is this hip hop? I'm in love. Like, nah, bro. I had already been exposed to hip hop before then. But like I said, the experience of sitting down with an explicit gangster rap album and bumping it nonstop in the early, 90s, 91, 92, like, bro, that wasn't happening, man. That was not happening.
I got a lot of my knowledge at school, like what other kids were listening to, and I remember that famous Big L freestyle. Where he's like, ask Beavis, I get nothing but head. That's what all the kids were talking about.
Right,
so of course, you want to know what everybody's talking about. Try to sneak and listen to certain things. So
the first hip hop albums I purchased on my own, the first hip hop albums I actually purchased. You know what I'm saying? CDs. I can't remember the first tape I purchased, to be honest with you. But the first CDs I purchased was In My Lifetime Volume 1 and CNN War Report. You know what I'm saying? I don't remember the first tape that I brought. You know what I mean? But I remember going to Sound Express downtown Plainfield, New Jersey, and buying Clue tapes. You know what I'm saying? I buy a Clue tape before I buy an album. You know what I'm saying? Because I came from that generation where, if we brought an album and unfortunately that, only 2 songs was hot, then we felt like we was played out. So a lot of us would buy the Clue tape over somebody's album because the Clue tape would have a little piece of heat from everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Everything. Yeah, I think that was the first CD I bought too. It was one of them mixtapes.
Yeah,
I
it was a
mixtape. What
mixtape
it was, but it was a mixtape.
It was a mixtape.
It wasn't even an album.
It wasn't even an album. There you go, because we want to hear everything.
It might have been one of them Funkmaster Flex or Clue mix, because they had a whole, maybe even Ron G. I don't know.
It might have been Ron G. It might have been K Slay. It might have been Doo-Wop. It might have been Tony Touch. It might have been any one of those cats, man.
So many people, yeah.
That parental advisory, like, your peoples wasn't letting you cop nothing with that sticker on it if they were good parents.
Yeah.
If you had parents, if you had parents that didn't care, or parents that just didn't know, you could buy the bootlegs on the street. You know what I'm saying? So I did have a couple bootlegs. I remember copping bootlegs in front of FDT's grandmother's building, copping a couple bootleg, the Strictly Business soundtrack, couple tapes.
Harlem, yeah.
91,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You recording this? Do you remember the first hip hop song you ever heard?
Oh, for me, I think it was either Jump or OPP. I can't even tell you which one it was. I'm guessing it was OPP. I think that came out first.
I want to say.
Don't push me, cause I'm close to the edge. I'm trying not to lose my head.
That's the first one that I remember. And I know the first song that I committed to memory, like word for word, was It Takes Two.
I wanna rock right now. I'm raw bass and I came to get down. I'm not internationally known, but I'm known to rock the microphone.
I remember memorizing that rap. But it was a whole bunch of different songs that I heard back then. You know what I'm saying? Down with the Kings, Run DMC, like it's just memories, EPMD, you know what I'm saying? Like, I remember hearing records, Rakim, you know, I started rapping in like 96, 97, freestyling with the homies. You know how we used to do the little lunch table freestyle and all of that?
Yeah, I remember,
You know what I mean? Like, serious, man?
But mine is definitely OPP, Naughty by Nature. That's probably the first hip-hop song I remember, like, really remembering and like that OPP. And then I guess Jump came a year later. That was another one, but OPP.
Like most of our parents grew up in the 70s, so like I said, when my pop did listen to hip hop, a lot of the hip hop he listened to was a lot of jazz infused rap. So De La Soul, Public Enemy, Diggable Planets, that whole jazz fusion era of rap that came out.
My father never really listened to too much hip hop. He was more in like R&B, Michael Jackson, stuff like that.
Welcome to the Righteous Tongues podcast, hosted by FDT, the BX Boy, and D.Bail. For more, please visit grustlemedia.com and hit like on the Grustle Media Facebook page. Respect.
Peace, world. Welcome to the Righteous Tongues podcast, where we speak fluent hip-hop with your host, FDT.
Hey, what's up, man? I just want to shout out all the listeners. Thank you. We finally got over 100 views on our last episode. Thanks for all the support, all the feedback. And, we got a new episode for y'all. Hope y'all enjoy it. Let's get it.
The BX Boy.
What's good, y'all? The BX Boy. Once again, I want to thank you for all the love, and just judging from the response, you really like us. And we like y'all too, so thank y'all for the support. Peace and love.
Word, and I be a media arts specialist, D.Bail. And once again, welcome to the Righteous Tongues podcast, where we speak fluent hip-hop. And like FDT just mentioned, the last episode, Will Trump Get Rocky Out ASAP, surpassed 100 views. And the channel itself has surpassed 1,000 subscribers. So we greatly appreciate everybody that subscribed to the channel. The channel is currently in review for monetization. So hopefully everything will go good with that. And we can bring y'all more exclusive content. FDT has let us know that a lot of people are requesting the podcast to be on more digital platforms such as Google Play and iTunes. So we're working on that right now. Hopefully we can get that to y'all soon. But for right now, just enjoy the podcast on YouTube. And let us know what topics you would like us to focus on. So where we at right now, FDT, man? It's been a while since we all chopped it up. Where you want to set it off, man?
Yeah, we're just going to jump right into it, man. The big news of the week is top 50 hottest rappers. Oh, was it top 50 hottest rappers? Or the top 50
top 50 rappers of all time.
Top 50, there you go. Top 50 rappers of all time. And I didn't mind the names on the list, but it was the particular order in the list that had a lot of people in the uproar, particularly Joe Budden being at number 3. And, he's not arguing that fact because it's Joe Budden, but, whoever made that list was tripping, yo. We're going to get into that. So it's kind of hard even making a top 50 list because there are a lot of rappers. Like, how do you even go about that? Like, you gotta monitoring sales, success, bars, influence, just all type of shit goes into it. Like, that's why I wanted to have our older cousin Steve to kind of weigh in on this, because like I said, there's a lot of rappers from the 80s that came out. Do we count rappers that were here first because they started the wave? Does that factor in? Or does it matter that a rapper, took that older rapper's, not style or flow, but just, what they did with hip hop and then change it themselves? Like,
right.
How do you count that? You know what I mean? That's the big question here. Yeah, man. What do you guys think? What should the top 50 best rappers list of all time consist of?
You go ahead, BX.
Now, well, I was just going to say, Freaky Ty, he hit on something important. First of all, how do you even begin to measure this? I mean, what are we measuring? I mean, is it lyrics? Is it success? Is it, I mean, what kind of category are we using? Because, I mean, this list is really all over the place. I mean, it's an interesting mix of new and old. And I also take a lot of issue with the placement of certain rappers, but also, even more so, I take issue with a lot of rappers that are not even on the list. To me, that's much more problematic. I was looking at the list, for example, and I mean, to have Kool G Rap at like 31, I mean, like, wow, really? Or, you know, I don't even think this list has KRS-One on it. I mean, that's kind of insane to me. I don't know. I don't know. It got people talking. Maybe that was the purpose, but between where the names are ranked and especially the omissions, like Guru from Gangstar, I don't believe is on here at all. I just wow. You know, it had people talking, so it accomplished its job.
They do this like every 2 or 3 years. I feel like there's like a huge sense of deja vu. I'm like, didn't we just do this 3 years ago? It's like every 2 or 3 years there's like some controversial top 5 list or, you know, best of all time list that comes out. First of all, do we give any credibility to a list where we don't know the origin of it? Who came up with this list? Why are we so upset about somebody's opinion? We don't even know if that person is even valid enough for us to take that opinion seriously, right? And then it's subjective. It's all subjective. Like, depending on when you was born and where you were born, the list can always change. If I'm a dude that was born and raised in Oakland, California, you know, E40 is in my top 5, more than likely. Whereas if I was born in the Bronx, New York, not only is E40 not in my top 5, he's not in my top 50, he's not even in my top 100. So, you know, there's levels to this. So I agree. I think at the end of the day, we need to, for once and for all, figure out truly how to structure a top 50, top 100 list. I think it has to go by the decade. There's no way we can be comparing Big Daddy Kane with Kendrick Lamar.
Big Sean.
He's not even on the list.
We can't do it.
I don't think it's not even on the list.
He's not even on the list, so that which is crazy.
Neither
is DMX. So it's like I think we have to take it decade by decade. So let's start with the 80s, you know, top whatever, the 90s, and then the 2000s and 2010. Hip hop is not even 50 years old yet, is it? Or is it just 50 years old? I think hip hop has just turned 50. So it's still in its infant stages where it's like best of all time. It's, you know, the genre is still growing. Although some people would say hip hop died the last decade, depending on who you talk to. And to those people, they're not even counting the artists that exist today because they didn't already dismiss all of the younger artists that have come out, which is why I'm glad we're going to be breaking down certain topics today, and which is why the Righteous Tongues podcast is so important, because we have 3 different knowledgeable people here from 3 different eras, more or less, and we're going to use critical thinking and logic to really analyze these arguments. You know, we're not just going to troll and give you BS, you know, opinions just to try to get, you know, clickbait. We're going to really try to break this down. So different decades, different categories, you know, somebody that is necessarily not lyrical but set trends, you know, how do you compare those people? You understand what I'm saying? So it's like there's a lot of categories that have to be broken down. So maybe that's something that we could tackle, you know, on the next episode. But what are the categories we're going to rate the rappers by? That's really what I want to know. What are the categories? Are we talking about flow?
That's crucial.
We talking about impact? We talking about actual bars? You understand what I'm saying? Because then you'll have the whole, what I like to call the Tupac argument, you know, where people will say, well, Tupac wasn't a punchline rapper, You know, he wasn't a lyricist per se. That's what some critics will say. However, he's number one on most people's list. You know, Tupac, because it wasn't you know what he said, but it was like how he said it, the way he delivered
and
it,
how he made people feel.
Exactly. So how he made people feel on a more technical aspect is more important than, let's say, a bar for bar technician like Eminem, right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because Eminem, you know, he's not gonna give me that vibe that Pac gave me. You know. So I'll just leave it at that, man. It's too subjective. I'm not upset at the list.
It's a hard task.
Yeah,
man.
I'm not upset at the list,
it's a
man.
Very hard task.
I tell you whose list was really dope though.
I'm a little upset with the list only because I think they left off some key crucial names in this whole hip hop thing. To me, that's more offensive than any.
But BX Boy, who is they? Who is they?
Yeah, that's the key.
We don't know. So do we even
we
care?
know it's from a podcast. That's somebody's podcast, but not our podcast.
We don't even know what it is. BX Boy. BX Boy. Yeah. This could be some dude that, you know what I'm saying, lives in Alaska, that was born in 1967, bro. Like, we don't know who this is, man, to give it any, like, emotion towards it. You know what I'm saying? Now, if they said, yo, this is, you know what I'm saying, the new CEO of Def Jam Records, you know, somebody that, you know, has the ability to shape the culture due to the artists that they sign and due to the artists that they co-sign, then, okay, I can understand that, because it's like, wait a minute, this is a gatekeeper right here. If a gatekeeper feels like, you know, artists that have talent like BDK, Big Daddy Kane, or DMX, you know what I'm saying? If they don't feel like those type of artists are talented, then where is our industry going? But to give credence to a list that we don't even know who developed it, or if they just developed it just to get us in our feelings, like, man, nah, bro, we ain't gonna fall for that.
You're right. It just hurts my heart when I see Young Jeezy ahead of people like Ice Cube and LL Cool J.
I hear you,
know,
bro. I hear you. But
if
it's from a troll, they did their job. If it's from a troll, they did their job. They got you in your feelings, man.
They definitely got everybody talking.
They succeeded. They did.
So, you know, I don't even want to give a top 5 list, because I feel like that's we could have a separate show just based on you know, our top 5. So we us here at the RTP, we just want to acknowledge that this is a trending topic, but we're not gonna feed into it just yet, man. We want to make sure we do our due diligence before we create a list.
Right. And a lot of people are giving their list though. It inspired that though. They inspired a lot of people to give their list.
I love Mike Tyson's list. I think Mike Tyson had one of the best.
Yeah, he did. He had a great list.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Tyson had a list,
bro. One too. A Young Dirk, I think, had the worst list, though. I'm sorry. I mean, I know given his age and things of that nature, but that's an awful list. I'm sorry.
You said Young Dirk had the worst list?
It's an awful list. It's tough.
I want to see. I saw his list, but I almost feel like that somebody added something to that list. Like, I think what his list initially said was top 50 to change the culture in terms of in his generation, and then somebody removed that part and put top 50 at all time. I don't think his initial post said top 50 at all time. You know what I'm saying? I could be wrong. I got to go back and take a look at that.
Actually, you're right. Yeah, I'm looking at the post right now.
Cool.
Under it says top 50 that changed the culture. I still disagree with that.
There you go.
But, you know, reasonable minds can disagree.
No doubt. And to his credit, in his eyes, as a young dude in his 20s, the Migos, that's culture changing for him. No doubt about it. You know what I'm saying? For somebody like him, that's somebody that definitely changed the culture. They're not going to make our top MC list, but that's not what his list was.
Not even my top 100.
Yeah,
I don't know. Some of these cats sound the same though, but yeah, I digress. You know.
Yeah, man. So you know, it's definitely something that's subjective, and like I said, it really depends on the time period that you grew up and where you grew up, and you know, I can't argue against somebody that grew up in the West Coast and came from LA and says, yo, Ice Cube is the greatest rapper of all time. It's hard for me I can argue against it, but I can't expect his mind to be changed. You know what I mean? But hold on, let me just give you Mike Tyson's top 10 real quick, and then we can move on, right? So number 10, Tyson has DMX. Number 9, Tyson has Ice Cube. Number 8, KRS-One. Number 7, Big Daddy Kane. Number 6, LL Cool J. Number 5, Jay-Z. Number 4, Nas. Number 3, Rakim. Number 2, Pac. Number 1, Biggie Smalls.
Okay, I knew that was coming.
I love his list, man. And also Tyson has Eminem at 12. But he has Melly Mel in there as well at 14. So
that's love right there.
You know what I mean? Tyson is from that era, bro. So like he has 2 females. He has Lil' Kim and Queen Latifah on his list. So I could rock with that, man. Shout out to Mike Tyson, man. Huh?
No Lauryn Hill?
Nah, no Lauryn Hill, man.
And he got Lil' Kim above Queen Latifah. I don't know if I'd agree with that, but all in all, not bad.
Not bad. He got Jadakiss too, man. Jadakiss at 18, Prodigy at 20, Tretch at 19.
Tretch getting some love. That's nice.
No joke, man. He got Busta at 30, Big L at 15, Big Pun at 13, Cool G Rap at 11. Yo, Tyson's list is lit.
I feel like we could do it would take us a whole episode to do a top 50.
Yeah, we're going to do it, though. We're going to do it.
This is the Righteous Tongues podcast, where we speak fluent hip-hop.
This is probably going to be our biggest debate so far on the Righteous Tongues podcast. Going into an album, not really a review, but impressions, but we're going to talk about the one album everybody's been talking about for the past week. Been getting pretty much slandered by other reviews as well. I'm probably like the only person that might like it, but we're gonna get into this Chance the Rapper album, the Big Day album.
Big Day.
Like I said, I actually like the album. I can respect Chance just off the simple fact that this man, he did this album, and you could tell he put passion into it, he got his soul into it, and he didn't have anybody trying to tell him what to do with it. Like, everything that went to this album, he did it himself. You know what I'm saying? He's not going for an agenda. He's not, doing a typical rapper thing where it's like, okay, let me get a club record, let me get a record for the women, let me get a street record. Like, he's literally doing everything that he wanted to do with this album. My track was like Big Floss, and when I realized that, it was like, yo, this man he's bold for doing this. Just off the simple fact that he's not worried what other people think. Now, a lot of people want to discredit him and diss him for making happy dad rap. But again, I can appreciate an artist for being original and just talking about something different for once in a chance. Like, this man, he's a married man. He's bigging up his wife. He's bigging up marriage, and that's to me is a breath of fresh air. Like, to me, Chance is what Will Smith would be rapping if he was still rapping and he was, cussing here and there in his song. My only, problem with the album is that I think it's a little too long, but at the same time, it's good for the culture, man. It's good to have a different change of hip hop at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes you get tired of hearing about the coke bars and women and jewelry and stuff like that. Like, it's not really a conscious album, but it's like, yo, the dude's happy, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? We should be allowed to be able to rap and be happy. We don't all gotta be ignorant and mean and cuss. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a different pace. I can enjoy. You know what I'm saying? Like, this dude's a family man. Like, we need rap like that. Like, there's older people out there. I feel like Chance is a rapper. Like you said in the last episode, like, older people could enjoy the Chance album. You know what I mean? It's got a lot of features on it. Got In Vogue on here. Not TLC, but SWV on that album. He's got crazy. He got Meg Thee Stallion on the album, Nicki Minaj. Crazy features on here, and like I said, I can just appreciate someone going in the studio and doing what they want to do, not listening to big, execs or doing what's hot, just doing what they feel that they should do. And it's sad because, homie was on Twitter and he was talking about, like, he made a Twitter stats. He was saying how, people think they want him to kill himself, and I'm just like, I hope he's not, trying to clout chase or anything like that, because that's kind of crazy if he were to do that. But
yeah.
I don't know. I like that album, man. I know a lot of people don't like it because it's happy rap and stuff like that. But again, he has a message. He's talking about something different. It's not like overly happy. Like, it's not like Pharrell's happy song, the album. Like how people are making it seem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I said, it's a lot of rappers in the game who are married, but you would never know they were married because they don't rap about their wives. They still rap like they're fucking 30 bitches and shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I can appreciate Chance saying like, yo, this is my woman, I love her, I'm gonna make songs about her. To me, there's nothing wrong with that. Other people feel differently, but like I said, you got songs on there that one day when I get married, I'm gonna play at my wedding. So like I said, he's rapping about being a family man. Like I said, I have a daughter. There's songs on here I can listen to with my daughter, family. When I gotta, let me turn this off. This is bad. Like it's just one of the things. Like it's just a good change of pace, man. I can appreciate it. Now, everybody else, they might not like it, but like I said, I like the album.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you have the right to like what you like, and I have the right to dislike what you like. And in this case, shout to Chance the rapper. He is a great human being, no doubt about it. Humanitarian. He's a talented brother. But not all rap is for everybody, man. And I do agree with what you're saying. It definitely needs to be a balance. So to those that like hearing hip-hop about wives and love and friendliness, this album is for you. But if you like myself and you like to hear rap on a little bit more on the hard sort of side, then this album will make you laugh. And it will not entertain you or fulfill you in the way that you need to be fulfilled. Now, with that being said, I do agree with FDT in terms of the features. I feel like the features are the album's strong suit. I like Megan Thee Stallion's. Her presence on this album is dope, as well as Nicki Minaj. She came crazy on the Slide Around track. I love hearing Nicki on her Turned Up. You know what I mean? I rocks with Lil Durk, Chirac, and all of that. So, the features is dope. Gucci Man floating on a Big Fish joint. I like the Big Fish song as well. And
I like that.
Yeah, so, the fact that Chance the Rapper has, R&B legends from my era, In Vogue and SWV, definitely, has a sentimental tone. I like both of those songs. And like I said, the album is cool. It just, to me, it's not going to be any replay value for me. And I love my wife, too. But I don't, hip-hop, Chance loves his wife. That's great. He can make songs about loving his wife. I think it's a little, unfair, or it's a bit projecting to say, he's making an album that the label executives don't want him to make. Like, nah, bro. This dude is making pop music that the label is eating up, because it's basically more of a pop album than it is a hip-hop album. You know what I'm saying? Without a doubt. So, nah, if he goes number one, if he sells a lot of records, the execs are going to eat it up. There's nothing here, to me, that is that groundbreakingly dangerous for a label exec to be like, no, don't put this out, man. This is not what we want. I think it's like, he has a lane. The people that love him, and he's not going to really gain any new fans from this, but at the same time, he's going to try to secure the fan base that he has. But even the fan base that he has is really not feeling this album. It's a lot of criticism. Now, in terms of trolls telling him, kill yourself, I think that is probably one of the worst aspects of the internet. The anonymous haters that talk, vile filth over the internet, that won't have the guts or the balls to ever do it face to face to anybody. So that's not cool. But for me, this album it's not it, Chief. You know what I'm saying? I respect a couple of joints off of it, but it's not my style of hip hop. And I'm gonna have to tell, my portion of the listeners, you might want to pass on this. You know what I mean? It's not for you, homie.
One time for the culture. It's the Righteous Tongues podcast.
Unfortunately, I have to kind of lean more towards what D.Bail is saying. I do understand what Freaky Ty is saying in terms of, him doing something different and just kind of being comfortable in his own skin, which is something I think a lot of rap artists in general should do, because I think you get your best music that way, just being yourself. And I can appreciate, the kind of family vibe, the love for his wife, and, things to that nature. I can appreciate that. But, yeah, it wasn't exactly doing it for me, And one thing I will say that I think worked in the album's favor that I initially didn't think it would was that the number of features. I was kind of looking at the track list and seeing all the features. I'm like, wow, it seems like he's kind of watering, his album down with all of these features. And for the most part, I think they worked pretty well.
Yeah.
I like John Legend. I like the Gucci Mane song, A Big Fish. I'm with D.Bail on that. I really like that record.
That's fire.
He also had Shawn Mendes, Nicki Minaj. She did her thing on, I think, 2 tracks on here. Yeah. And I'm a big fan, of course, the 90s throwback with the SWV and In Vogue, 2 of the best of that era.
Yeah.
Felt like I was listening to something from, like, 94 again. I was like, okay, I see where you're going. So, I mean, there were a couple of tracks on here, I was feeling, but all in all, I got to say that this album didn't really do it for me. It did feel more like a pop rap album than a rap album or a hip hop album. It felt a little bit kind of all over the place somewhere. I don't know. It just really wasn't what I was looking for. But I think it'll definitely appeal to some.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
For those who maybe want something with a harder edge, or just something maybe just more rap, this
exactly.
might not be, where you might go to look first. But I mean, I think it's worth a listen, but it's not something that I would like, gotta hear that Chance album. Like, you got time and you ain't got nothing to do, give it a spin. Give it a spin. But other than that, yeah, it's not something that, I'm clamoring to particularly hear again.
Listen, I want to clarify something too, man, because I don't want to make it seem like, I'm against positivity. You know what I mean? I'm the media arts specialist, educator, entertainer. So I definitely, it's not about, I want to hear just gangster music. I want to hear, like FTT said, coke raps and gun raps. Nah, but I want to hear hip hop. So in contrast, as a segue into the next album, from YBN Cordae was like, yo, bruh, that's not gangster rap, but that's hip hop. Now I'm like,
I like that.
This is what's popping. This is the culture right here. This is the young dude. This is the lyricist. You know what I mean? This is the answer to all the old heads talking about, these these young boys ain't talking about nothing. Between this dude and my man Joyner, dudes got banana bars. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. It's just more closer to hip hop. So that's no shot towards Chance. Chance just doesn't have the cultural aspects of rap music that I could appreciate. You know what I mean? It's when you give me Chance the rapper, this man's name is Chance the Rapper, for God's sakes. And I don't hear rapping. I don't hear, what I heard with the Lost Boy album. Then it's like, nah, bro, you lost me with that. Say Chance the harmonizer.
Let me just say something real quick.
Chance the singer. Chance the hummer. Chance the auto-tune. Not Chance the rapper, bro. Please.
D.Bail, he's in love, man. He's letting it show.
But are y'all knocking the album due to its content, or just because y'all wasn't feeling the bars? Like I said, at the same time, I feel like this Chance album, the content things he's speaking of, it's not the same, obviously, but I feel like he's just a more mature person at his age. Like, we waited years to get Jay-Z's 444 album where he's rapping about similar topics.
I hear you.
And, people praise that. You know what I'm
but
saying?
444 was still hip hop, bro. It still had knot to it. It still had a hip hop. Like, I get the concept of what Chance is doing. I'm just saying it's not a concept that I could get into right now at this point. I felt the same way about the Nas album that he did. I know. For Khalees. He was, and pardon me, man. Life is Good. I felt the same about it, bro. I didn't come back to that album as much as I come back to Nas albums.
I
yeah.
like Life is Good.
I liked it too. I
it
liked it, but I didn't like it enough. It didn't have that replay value that Nas albums normally have for me because it felt like it was a tad too personal. Like, how many times am I gonna listen to this man's, song about his divorce and what he's going through with his child's mother? Yo, I hear it, it's cool, but in terms of me, I want to hear that again and again and again. Not necessarily, bro. You know what I mean? So I
think that album was a lot better than Chances, though.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, by far. Because I mean, it was still enough bars on there to satisfy me. The whole album wasn't about his ex-wife, but you know what I mean. I just felt like
what you're saying.
Yeah, it's no shot towards Chance. Like, Chance is a talented artist, but his fans are. You know what I mean? It's not for me, bro. That's all. You know what I'm saying?
That's respectable.
That's not for me.
He's a good guy, though. He's
a great guy, man. Great spokesman for the culture too, man. For real.
Yep.
So can I get into the segue of my homeboy YBN Cordae, man? Cause
please do.
Absolutely. Get right into it.
Like, that album to me, I had very low expectations of the album because I had not heard a lot of his music. I heard a couple of his freestyles. But compared to the rest of the dudes in his crew, YBM Namir and the other dude, you know what I'm saying? No disrespect to him, man. I just don't know his name off the top of my head. He hasn't dropped anything memorable enough for me to remember his name. And hopefully,
they're not as good.
Yeah, they're not on the same talent level. So just hearing him is like, all right, cool. So the low expectations that I had of the album, completely like, yo, this is like competing with So Far From What I Heard, in my opinion, as album of the year. It has to be up there, you know what I'm saying? Because
I like it. This is my favorite of the three.
It's incredible, man. It just has like the beats, the production has like a real classic vibe to it, man. I'm loving it. It's like a jazz production with it. It gives me like that Righteous Tongues, like that righteous type of era feeling when I'm hearing it, man. I love the single Have Mercy. It's a flex type joint where you hear it and you just kind of bop to it. But bro is like dropping all different kind of knowledge within the bars. He's talking about being down, coming up. You know what I'm saying? He's really relatable. He's like a really relatable artist. The only thing I don't really see with him is like that superstar appeal, like versus a 6ix9ine, a dude that came out and was just such a polarizing figure. He didn't have a bar to save his life, but he just was a star. Like, you see him, he came out, boom, just pow, blew. I just feel like YBN...
His antics did that,
His antics definitely did that. And, and I'm just saying in general, for this generation, unfortunately, it's antics over bars. You know what I'm saying? So it's like...
That's true of a talent.
YBN Cordae might not get the props that he really deserves just because he's not that type of standout superstar type of dude. But he's arguably the most talented young dude that's came out in the last 5 years, bro. Like, his album went from mad different ranges, mad different spectrums. The joint R&P with Anderson .Paak. Anderson .Paak has worked with Dr. Dre. You know what I'm saying? And YBN...
That was one of my favorite tracks.
Yeah, YBN Cordae has been co-signed by Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre is not co-signing a lot of young dudes. This man has been in the studio with Dre. You know what I'm saying? So that track right there was crazy. The joint...
Pusha T.
The Pusha T joint was crazy, but the production, there was a lot of unknown producers. Like, I think J. Cole did one beat, my man Cardiac did one beat, Terrence Martin, but other than those three, the rest of the production, and producers are unknown to me, unbeknownst to me. And big ups to them, because the production was just crazy on this, man.
It was really good, it was.
I listened to an interview that he conducted, and he talked about old heads versus OGs. And I thought that was such a good conversation because it really reflects the intention of this show. Like, we want to be, or me personally, being I'm the oldest cat on the show, I'd rather be an OG than an old head. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really want to have that conversation. I definitely want to enrich and teach rather than point my shaky old finger at somebody. You know what I'm saying? So I felt where he was coming from. I like him. He's a student of the game. And big ups to him, man. Like, the Pusha T joint was crazy. Lost and Found, one of my favorite tracks on the album. This dude just has an old soul, man. He's real clever.
Yeah, he does.
Real clever with like the punchlines, like his time references in terms of what he knows. old heads is gonna hear this and be like, yeah, this young boy knows something. Like, okay, they gonna you'll catch yourself like chuckling to some of his punchlines and some of his bars on there. So
it was good.
To me, definitely
really
top 3 hip hop album of the year so far. And I don't even care about the other 2 right now. This is in rotation, man. We rocking with this, man. Lost Boy, man. Let's get it.
Yeah, I gotta agree with D.Bail on that. I really enjoyed this album, and I was kind of like him. I wasn't really expecting too much, mainly because I wasn't as familiar. But from the moment I heard "Wintertime" until the last track, "Lost and Found," I was like, "Yo, this young guy, he got it, man. He really got something. He's on to something." The production was tight. The standout tracks for me, man, pretty much all of them. But man, I liked "Family Matters." I liked "Nightmares Are Real" featuring Pusha T.
Mm-hmm.
I like the joint with Ty Dolla $ign, "Way Back Home." R&P, I love that. Man, Thanksgiving, man, just the whole album, man. The joint with Chance I thought was pretty good too. If Chance had done more stuff like that than what he did on his own album, maybe I think higher, of his own album, but he did his thing there too. But nah, man, this was a really good album, and I'm gonna be looking out for this dude now, man. He was the one I was expecting the least from, but he probably enjoyed his album the most. Man.
Yo,
it was pretty tight.
Yo, BX boy, can I say something real quick before FTT drops his thoughts, man?
Please do.
Listen, that joint Thanksgiving, right? I love the way that he put that together because, see, as Chance is like, I love my wife, I love my wife, I love my wife. Thanksgiving to me was like a more subtle way to big up the woman that you love. You know what I'm saying?
Rather than kind of some sappy
Exactly.
Yeah,
like I like the way he did that subtly. Like he's talking about a girl that got his heart, but he's doing it in a way he's combining it with Thanksgiving and grandma's cooking. Where it's like, yo, it's not cheesy. Like it's like, all right, yo, that's a joint that you could stand behind. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, that's cool, man. So respect to him for that because a lot of people they make those forced love songs. They gotta like, and it's like you trying too hard, bruh. And that's what I felt like.
It's a tough balance, right?
There you go.
Not everybody can do it. Not everybody can manage it, but you manage to make something like that not seem sappy. It's still dope, but it's still heartfelt.
Facts.
You wanted something. I agree with that. Definitely.
There you go.
Good point.
It's not easy though, but. All right. So what you think, Freaky Ty?
Nah, I love the album too. Like I said, it's unanimous. We got the Righteous Tongue podcast. Definitely give YBN Cordae, the Lost Boy, 3 thumbs up.
Yeah.
But the crazy thing is, like, yo, I'm not even gonna front. Like, just hearing his name, like, if you didn't know who he was, YBN Cordae is probably one of the worst rap names I've ever heard.
I wasn't expecting much. Yeah.
I definitely, like I said, I saw him on the Breakfast Club, and Charlamagne the guy was bigging him up, and I liked his interview. Like, you could tell, he's smart, he's intelligent, you know what I'm saying? He was talking about me, saying, definitely.
Yeah, he is.
Flex dropped a freestyle with YBN Cordae. When I heard that, and I was like, oh, wait a minute. Like, he's not like, cause he's only 21 years old.
I know.
When I heard that, I was like, oh, he's not like these other young rappers, like, at all. He's not a mumble rapper. He's not doing this singing, rhyme. Like, he's not doing nothing. He's spitting bars.
Yeah.
When I heard that freestyle, I mean, one of the things that got me in freestyle, which I thought was cool on the record, he said, yo, my 2 favorite rappers are Hove and Jigga. And I was like, like, when you that age and you could decipher, because like I said, if you really listen to hip-hop, like I said, there's definitely a difference between Hove and Jigga when it comes to Jay-Z.
Yeah. And
you could decipher between that, like, you're definitely a student of the game. You know what you're talking about. So I'm like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Let me just, if the freestyle is, the album's just half as high as his freestyle, it's going to, at least impress me just a little bit. But like I said, I was impressed by the whole album from start to finish. Like I said, student of the game. He listens to hip hop. He loves hip hop, and you can tell it in his music. So like I said, I thoroughly enjoyed the album. Definitely.
He cares about his craft, man. He cares about his craft.
You know what I'm saying? But like I said, it's one of the things. Like if you saw him it's just like you don't see a rapper like a star power when you see him.
Right, yeah.
He doesn't even really look like a rapper. Like, he looks kind of weird. Like, I'm not even going to front. Like, that man got no hang time with his dreads or whatever the fuck he's trying to grow his hair. Like, I ain't even trying to roast homie, nothing like that. But if you saw him in person, you would just be like, wait, what? Who's this dude? YBN? What does that even stand for? Like, I don't even want to. You wouldn't even want to give him a chance today. But like,
well, that's the name of the crew. That's the name of the crew.
I think it's what Young Boss niggas, right?
Yeah, they're all YBNs. But here's the thing, this Cordae cat, man, he was a waiter at TGI Fridays, man. You know, he went from TGI Fridays to cracking the Billboard charts, man. So he represents that every man. That's why you're saying, like, he don't look like a rapper. He looks like just a regular dude. You know what I mean? So I think that's why, you know, he like really resonates with people. Like, but he's dumb nice, man. Like, dude is off the chart nice, man. Like, for real.
Man, like, this is one of the rappers, like, we at the Right Sing Podcast, we can co-sign.
You
like,
gotta co-sign this cat.
Older listeners that listen to our podcast, you're like, yo, every young rapper sounds like a mumble rapper. Like, here he is, 21 years old, get his Lost Boy album a chance.
Yes. There's no excuses,
if you're a fan of hip-hop, especially older hip-hop, 90s hip-hop, you don't like Lost Boy.
You already know, man.
From North Carolina, too, man. They've been going strong. J. Cole.
Well, North Carolina, but he grew up in Maryland.
Oh, Maryland?
Yeah,
okay.
So he's claiming Maryland.
Yeah, originally,
Yeah, but he
was. Maryland, okay.
But he is North Carolina. He's North Carolina born though, most definitely.
Definitely.
Right.
And the next album that we actually listened to was Big Krit, Mississippi's own. Krit Iz Here. You know what I'm saying? Which was a play on one of his earliest mixtapes, Krit Was Here, you know what I mean? But this is an official album. Big Krit is well respected, but hasn't made the type of splash that I feel like that he should have made, at least on a mainstream level. I feel like, you know, real heads like myself, I know about Krit, and honestly, I feel like Krit is top 5 of this current generation. If I look at Cole, Kendrick.
Krit is nice.
Cole, Kendrick, and Drake, I gotta put Krit right along with those 4. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, like, he's that Southern counterpart. Although Cole is from Carolina, but, you know, Cole got the New York vibes too, man. He spent a lot of years in New York, man, while he was going to college. So I consider him down south, but to me, Krit is like the embodiment. He sounds like that. You know what I mean? He's soaked in the DNA
got that
of
Southern drawl.
UGK. Like, you could tell Pimp C is a major influence on dude, but he's like a conscious version of Pimp C, and that's how I look at Big Krit, man. But he's incredibly talented, man. His catalog has been ridiculous. He makes that kind of music too, like I said, where it's like that pop, you know, that music that it's not always about punchlines and bars, although he has those too. He makes a lot of heartfelt music. He makes music for the everyday man as well. You know what I'm saying? He's completely independent now. You know, he was signed to Def Jam. He was like a major signee, and unfortunately, you know, Def Jam is a commercial entity, so they want artists that are just gonna go platinum. You know, they're a business. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, Def Jam started in the dorm room of Rick Rubin along with Russell Simmons, and, you know, it was always grassroots and hip hop, the culture. But at the end of the day, they're a business, man. So if you're not moving platinum records up out of there, after a while, Def Jam will disengage. Krit left him in 2016. He's been independent ever since then. And as an independent artist, sometimes you don't get that same look in terms of exposure that you would get as somebody that's on a mainstream level. So for all those cats
that's marketing and all that,
that's saying, yo, nah, he ain't as big as, you know, Kendrick, Cole, or Drake. Yes, true, on a mainstream level, but I feel talent-wise, he's right there. And homie produces over 75% of his music, similar to how Cole makes his own beats. So yes, Big Krit is definitely there for me. In terms of this album, I loved it, man. You know what I mean? I've been really waiting to hear exactly, you know, what he's gonna do in terms of what was the next step for him, and he didn't disappoint. You know what I'm saying? I feel like the album was hella soulful. Make It Easy, one of my favorite joints on the album, and not for nothing, Krit Iz Here it kind of gave me those old school Kanye vibes. I'm not gonna hold you. Like listening to this album, it made me feel like 06, 07 Kanye. You know what I'm saying? 05 Kanye. He's from that class of lyricism where you will put Goody Mob and Outkast. Unfortunately, there's nothing on this album that is groundbreaking to the point where somebody's going to hear it that hasn't heard it before and say, yo.
And be like, whoa.
Yeah, a casual hip-hop listener. You know what I mean? So it's like he might reach the heights of gold, and that might be where he's at as an artist. He'll still be able to live off the culture, but it remains to be seen. But he's such a talented dude, man. I feel like eventually, you know, he'll end up getting the props that he deserves, but this album might not be the one to push him into mainstream success, but it's dope. It's a dope album. It's a great album, and I'm definitely rocking with it, man. Big Krit.
And that's okay. Some rappers just don't get that mainstream success, even though they nice as fuck. You know
Right.
Not all artists are built built to really be, you know, superstars. Like, you know, I mean, everybody got their own lane, and I really like this album, though. I gotta agree with D.Bail. I thought it was really good. But Krit's been dropping, you know, really good projects for a while now.
For a long while.
So yeah, a long while, right. So this is just another in a long line. I really enjoyed the tracks. The one with J. Cole, Prove It. I love the Blue Flame Ballad. I love Learn from Texas. I love the Mississippi.
That was tough.
Man, it's just Krit Here. That first one is dope. You just know what you're getting. It's just an all around really good project, man. And I'm just glad to see, even though he's independent, he's still doing his thing, man. And like you said, D.Bail, even though he might not have, you know, the major marketing Def Jam push behind him, he's still out here making quality moves, putting out quality music, man. And,
exactly. And that's why we're here.
I'm glad.
That's why
we're here, man. So that way we can show our love and give props, you know, to someone who maybe is not getting the attention he should. And so, yeah, shout out to Krit. Yeah. Another great project.
A lot of substance, man.
Man.
A lot of
For
substance,
real. Yeah,
man.
definitely a lot of substance. Yeah. Substance, and he just, you know, spitting hard, man. Hip-hop.
Hip-hop, baby. Yeah. FDT.
Yeah, like I said, I agree with y'all, man. Big Krit album, though. I love that first track. That first track grabs you immediately. You turn the album on like that. It's called Krit Here.
Yeah.
That beat is, whew. That beat is tough, man.
I thought the skits were interesting too. They kind of help tell a story as well.
Facts. Yo.
Shout out to that.
Yo.
A lot of skits be distracting, but those I thought they really help serve a purpose with this album.
Exactly.
Really cool.
And he's a student of the game. Like, he makes those type of albums like where it's like a lot of newer artists, they don't even really rock with the skits, or the skits are like distracting from the actual music.
Yeah.
He's a real student of the culture, man. So we really appreciate artists like that, man. Like, we're not gonna let you down in terms of you know, giving them a platform to shine, even if it is on a smaller platform with the RTP.
Right.
But yo, we authentic, man. We put in work for this, man. So we definitely want to make sure that those artists get their chance to shine.
I also wanted to say that Addiction song with Lil Wayne was dope too.
Yeah.
That was dope. And Lil Wayne was fit.
That's the Weedy chorus is hard too.
I was like, okay.
Oh yeah.
Man, this shit feel like water. Yeah, that shit hard, man.
Yeah.
But nah, like I said, I definitely slept. I didn't really sleep on homie. It's just like, I heard much. I don't know why. Sometimes certain rappers I just don't check. Like, he's been on features of a lot of artists that I listen to.
Yeah.
But I just never was like, yo, let me just listen to a Big Krit album. He's nice. He's nice as fuck.
Yeah, go back to his first.
I'm glad I gave this a chance. You know what I'm saying, to listen to, because I definitely have gone back and listened to older stuff. But yeah, he definitely slept on.
Yeah, he's nice, man.
D.Bail saying he's in the top 5 rappers as far as new artists are today, like with the Kendricks and the Coles. I can't disagree with that. You know what I'm saying? He's definitely creative, and he's from Mississippi, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's got bars.
He's from the mud, bro. Yeah.
Big, man.
No mumbles.
He's good for real, bro.
No mumbles.
Like I said, his production skills are nice as well. Like I said, it's just a smooth album. Like, you driving, you going on a trip somewhere, throw this Big K.R.I.T. album on. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's good. It's good driving car music. It's just good everyday music, period, man. Like, it's definitely one of my favorite albums of the year. If I had made a top 5 list, this would probably be in it. I'm not going to front. Check it out, yo. We recommend it
wholeheartedly.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the honorable mention report.
A$AP Rocky's finally released from Sweden.
Word.
Trump made a Twitter status about it, and it's funny because, like, our last episode, we made a wordplay joke on the A$AP name. We said, you know, when Trump did Rocky freed A$AP, and in his last tweet, he was saying that, I can't remember the exact tweet. He said something on, like, it's been a rocky week. Yeah, exactly.
Get home ASAP, A$AP.
A rocky week for A$AP. Yeah, get home ASAP. I just thought that was funny because it's like, yo, it's like, damn, man, like, Trump might not shit podcast.
Yeah, he might have heard it, man. He might have went past that title and said, this seems pretty trendy. Let me see if there's a way I can flip this, like, yo, because
everybody not shit, man.
Yeah, we did add a hashtag, so it's not, you know.
I'm glad A$AP is home.
Yeah,
but like I said, I noticed in his Instagram post, he did not shout out Trump. So
he didn't, but he went to Kanye's Sunday service.
Did he? Okay.
He went to Kanye's Sunday service. There's pictures of him chopping it up with Kendall, you know, the Kardashian sister, and him talking to Kanye West. So I think it might be a situation where it might have been something behind the scenes. I don't know if we'll ever know about it. Maybe he'll address it on his next song or his next major interview. If he goes on, you know, Hot 97 or the Breakfast Club, I could see him, you know, addressing whether or not he's spoken to the president since he came home.
He might even get a bigger platform than that, man. He might be on CNN or some shit.
Right. True story. You're right. In other news, at the honorable mention, we just want to acknowledge that Rick Ross has dropped Port of Miami 2. You know what I'm saying? New album is out now, and there's some controversy behind the song that featured Lil Wayne, Rick Ross, and Pusha T. Recorded the song together. Lil Wayne got his verse recorded, sent it into Ross, got it cleared, and then Ross sent the beat to Pusha T, who recorded a verse. But on the verse, it seemed as if Pusha T was still picking shots at the sixth rapper known as Drake, and I think there was a bit of a conflict there. So Rick Ross did address the whole issue on Ebro in the Morning on Hot 97, and basically said that he wants the two rappers that he has great relationships with to piece it up. And this is what Ross said. He said, right now is not the time for Weezy and Pusha T to be on the same joint. However, he is waiting for the song that will allegedly feature Drake, Kanye West, Pusha T, Lil Wayne, and Ross. So Ross is trying to put that collaboration together. Wow. And Rosenberg said, do you really think that you can do that? And Ross said, it's in the works, that he's going to try to make it happen. So he said it's for the culture. He said we're going to do it for a culture. It's going to be a song featuring Pusha T, Drake, Lil Wayne, Kanye, and Rick Ross. So we'll wait to see if the boss, as he calls himself, is really going to pull that together. He would definitely be making a boss move if he did that. But shout out to Rose, man. The new album, Port of Miami 2, is in stores now. So check that out when you get a chance, and we'll give our impressions on that next show. So, BX boy, what you saying about the 50 MCs list, man? How we gonna do this, bro?
We just gotta figure out how what are we gonna do it by decade, and like what categories do we want to measure them by? And if we say greatest, I guess we're including what, lyrical ability, impact in the game, longevity. I mean, gotta figure out, how we gonna, kind of group it, because I think that's one major mistake a lot of these lists make. It's just never, the criteria is never really defined, quite clear. So you might rank one artist differently, if you kind of have a more clear area, on where they're being judged. Like you wouldn't maybe rank Tupac super high on like the best lyricist or maybe best MC, but maybe the greatest rapper or one of the most impactful rappers, he might be number one or whatever. He'd be high up there. So I just think finding a proper way to classify and rank these things would be super helpful.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think going by decade would help the most.
Yeah,
you can take, top 10 from the 80s, top 10 from the 90s, top 10 from the 2000s, top 10 from the 2010s.
Yep.
And then just, go from there.
Yeah, man. And honestly,
after we're done.
It's the best time to do it because literally 2020 will, round everything out, man. Like if we take 1980 to 2020, then that's a solid 50. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know hip hop started, and most people will say 78, 79. But if we just take it from 80 to 2020, then I feel like we got the best of everything within that time frame. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So, yeah, man. And we want to have some special guests as well, man. So this should be interesting. This should be real interesting, man. Hopefully we can go viral with our list. You know what I'm saying? But it's all subjective, man. We just want y'all to actually, really understand the fixtures of what hip hop is all about, man. And understand, especially for the OGs, that, great hip hop is still out there, man. Like, seriously. Still out there, man. Still some great lyricists out there. You just gotta stay tuned to the RTP, man. We'll put you up on whatever's popping out there.
Right. Sound real.
You know what I mean? So with that being said, we're gonna sign off for the evening, for the night, for the morning, whenever you listen to this. Once again, we appreciate it. We've been getting like a good 2 to 3 solid subs a day. And that means everything, man, to us, man. We appreciate everybody that just clicks the play button. But we would like to tell you, don't just click play, hit the like button, leave a comment, because the more engagements, the analytics will spread further. Like if you leave a like, then it'll pop up on more pages. You know what I'm saying? So just please do that for us. Even if it's just a thumbs up or just a 100 emoji, leave your comments. We greatly appreciate it. Any last words from FDT?
Yo, man, solid episode. I'm actually looking forward to the next one. Because that list is going to be dope. And it's going to be official because it's coming from us. But, yeah, man, like I said, thank y'all for listening, tuning in, supporting, subscribing, liking the page, man. We appreciate it all, and stay tuned.
BX Boy.
The BX Boy. I want to echo FDT, just thanking y'all for your support. Thank you for just continuing to rock with us as we continue to grow the brand, get bigger and better. Also looking forward to making that list. It should be interesting. I'm sure there'll be a lot of debate and differences of opinion, but, that's what makes it fun. So, man, just keep rocking with us. Please like and subscribe and keep checking us out. Peace.
Yeah, man, and I'll be a media arts specialist, D.Bail, man. And Harlem Week is coming up, man, August 17th. This episode will be out before then, so if you can hear the sound of my voice, man, just come out to 135th and St. Nick in Harlem World, New York City. If you're in the area, it's going to be extravaganza, a wonderful family-filled fun day event. You know what I'm saying? Good food, good music, good vibes, prizes, and all types of good things, man. So come check me out. I'll be out there with the Hot 97 and WBLS crew, and it's definitely going to be great, man. And in terms of the podcast, we had some heated discussions tonight, man. We not all robots. We don't all think alike. And oftentimes we going to bump heads and we going to debate. And that's what makes us true students of the game, man. We don't come here to, our opinions are not brought. They're not sanctioned by any, big labels or big stations. You know what I'm saying? I work for the station, but this is our own mouthpiece right here. So, there's going to be times that we don't always agree with each other, but keep in mind, we just giving y'all our opinions so that way you can make your best informed decision as a listener and a supporter of hip hop. Go out, cop some merch, man. Go out and see some shows. The streaming is basically free at this point. All the albums are on YouTube, so it really doesn't cost anything now to get albums. So the best way that you can support the artists is by copping their merch and going to see their shows, man. So definitely before the summer is over, go see some of your favorite hip hop artists and, put your money where your mouth is and support these cats, all right? Until then, this is the Righteous Tongues Podcast, where we speak fluent hip hop, powered by GrustleMedia.com. Peace and love, y'all.
Please comment, like, subscribe and share the Righteous Tongues podcast. Thank you.